I always thought about the content that I wanted to create in a way of adding value to other people. I loved getting dressed and taking a picture of my outfit and sharing it online, and I get so much joy and passion from sharing that with other people.
How has the landscape shifted since the earliest days of your career as a creator?
When we started in 2012 to 14, you didn't really know yet that being a creator could be something you could do long-term as a career, because brands, not even were they not paying people, but they barely even wanted to gift. So it's not like it is today.
Welcome to More to Say. I'm Amber Vinsbox, founder of the $2 billion creator commerce platform, LTK. I've spent the last 14 years pioneering the creator economy, and on this podcast, I'm giving you direct access to the knowledge and perspectives of some of today's most influential people. I want you to stay ahead of the curve, so pull up a seat because we are just getting started. I invited Marianna to join me on More to Say because she is one of the original content creators. She was one of my earliest blogger friends and one of the earliest LTK creators, and she's experienced firsthand the growth and transformation of the creator industry. And she's a mastermind in creating and defining a personal brand. From learning how to navigate the constant changes of the industry to creating a successful creator business and turning that online success into one of the most popular beauty brands today, she could give us a masterclass on creating scaled pop culture success. I admire how she has always stayed true to herself, never bending for fleeting trends in her approach to style, and her advice to other creators that no matter what they create, to make it unique to them. Marianna, welcome to More to Say.
Thanks for having me.
You started your creator journey with a blog back 2012. You joined LTK 2014. That certainly makes you an OG content creator. How has the landscape shifted since the earliest days of your career as a creator?
It's so funny because when I think back to 2012, 13, 14, I don't even know if we were calling ourselves influencers yet. I think we were either bloggers or YouTubers. So the words content creator, influencer wasn't really quite in my vocabulary yet. And back then you were either just a blogger or just a YouTuber, and never the two worlds shall meet. And it was like, if you were into fashion lifestyle, you were posting on your blog. And if you liked beauty content, you were posting on YouTube. And when I started, I really had a passion for both. And so I was one of the few creators that when I started in the very beginning, I was really doing both platforms. And I started on YouTube, I had my blog, and then Instagram came around. And Instagram for me was never at the beginning my primary platform. It was a secondary platform where I was posting my blog content, YouTube content with screenshots of videos, and directing people to my other platforms. Shortly after, by 2014, Instagram slowly started to become my primary platform where I was posting the most. And then that kind of, took over where I was posting the most amount of my content. And if you think about new creators today, I think they can start on any of the platforms and be successful. And so at the time, I felt like you kind of had to juggle these different things. But now we see you can have a really amazing career and be successful on one platform and maybe have something secondary, which I do think is important. And so I think that's what's changed a lot. And back then, you think there's not a lot of people, so it isn't as competitive as it is today. But there was also a lot less opportunity. And when we started in 2012 to 14, you didn't really know yet that being a creator could be something you could do long-term as a career, because brands, not even were they not paying people, but they barely even wanted to gift. So it's not like it is today. So yes, there was more competition, there was less competition, but there was also less opportunity.
Over the last 10 years, you've seen the rise of so many platforms. You started really before like the Instagrams, the Pinterest, the TikToks, the snaps, all of that. How did you think about where you were going to go publish or spend your time and invest and keep up with what was kind of like the cutting edge of the next platform?
I always thought about the content that I wanted to create in a way of adding value to other people, but really for the true passion of creating content. So because we didn't know that it could lead to the amazing careers that so many people have today, it was truly because I loved getting dressed and taking a picture of my outfit and sharing it online. And I get so much joy and passion from sharing that with other people. But I also had this other side to me that was makeup and tutorials and how I was doing my hair and makeup to get ready for events or work. And so where a lot of people, when I started, they were on either one platform or the other, I saw I really want to do both. And that was really something that helped me stand out at the very beginning, where a lot of people were only on one or the other platforms. Now it's more normal to be on various platforms, but then it seemed like, oh my gosh, this is double the work to do a full blog post and post on Instagram and post on YouTube. And it's really different than it was today, especially because then it was very curated. Everything you shot for the blog was on an expensive camera, or you had to have a photographer. It wasn't as lo-fi or on the go or iPhone as it is today. So it was a lot more different. And there also, we didn't have the amazing editing apps and stuff that we do now on iPhones to be able to quickly edit videos. So I was teaching myself how to do so many things on my computer. And I saw that I wanted to spend my time on various platforms because of the different types of content I wanted to create, which served me really well in the long run. And it was something I always loved to do. And so now I think we see people doing that, but back then it definitely wasn't the case.
Well, you've always worked really hard, and I've known that about you always, but you always have presented like such an elegant appearance, never like frantic or disheveled. You also then not only were launched across all of these different platforms, but by 2018, I believe that you were the first influencer brand in Sephora, launching Summer Fridays with your co-founder, Lauren. How did you guys go about strategizing the launch and the go-to-market plan for that business?
So yes, we launched Summer Fridays in 2018, first influencer founded skincare brand at Sephora. And at the time, I had been working with Sephora as an influencer and talent for a few years. And really, I tell this story a lot, but LTK was really somewhere where I'm a data-driven person, and I love to look at data and analytics, but I also trust my gut and instinct at the same time. So I use it in a way that's helpful for me. And for so many years of posting products, I had a really good idea of the communication I had with my community, the types of products they wanted, where they liked to shop. And then because of LTK, I knew exactly where they were shopping, price points that were important to them, link clicks and sell through of like what kind of products are people resonating with from me. So the intuition that we had, plus the data that I was, receiving on these platforms, gave us a really clear understanding. Almost, and nothing is guaranteed, but I had a really good understanding of who are we creating this product for. And so we had a love and passion for beauty that really stemmed from so many years of creating and sharing content around beauty, and Lauren with lifestyle, and dreamed up the idea for Summer Fridays. And the first product that we came out with was our jet lag mask, which we launched in 2018. It's still the number one best-selling face mask at Sephora 6 years later. And I think it's maintained that best-selling status because we created a product that wasn't trendy. We created a product out of a need of something that we wanted, that we thought people would use for years to come, that could be a staple in their routine, that they could use in so many different ways. And since then, we've expanded now to 16 products over the last 6 years.
So I asked our LTK team how Summer Fridays is doing on our platform now, all of these years later, because not only are you a creator on LTK, but Summer Fridays is a top brand on LTK. And I want to share with you kind of what they told me this morning. So Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm is one of LTK's most loved products in the beauty and personal care category this year for our awards. Two more things. One, searches for the brand are actually up more than 650% since the beginning of the year. And the number of creators posting about Summer Fridays on LTK have more than doubled this year. And actually, they're driving 3 times as much traffic. So how are you?
Wow.
It's actually, applause. It's pretty incredible. Like, this wasn't like a launch moment. This is now years into the business. You guys have grown your SKUs and you've grown the brand love. So when you think about how you and Lauren were able to position the company, what was it that made it stand out and be so unique? And what's really, in my opinion, always been a little bit of a saturated beauty market?
There's a couple different things. I think that being creators is really the most incredible, background job that sets you up for having a company and business. As influencers and creators, we wear a lot of different hats. We are marketers. We understand pitches and press releases. We understand what it's like to get pitched to. We are the receiver of mailers. We test and try product, but we also understand what stands out with our audience and what kind of products that they want. And so our background of influencers really made us think, if we are on the receiving end of this content, this mailer, this text message, this email, this pitch, what do we want? And then because we get so many products a day and we open up 1 million packages, which is such a great part of the job, but you really get an understanding for what stands out to you on the receiving end of that. And so when we launched the brand with a blue tube that was aluminum, it really stood out in a sea of blush and pink and neutral packaging. So when you opened it up, it was like, oh, this looks different from everything else that I'm getting. Not only that, but when you try the product for the first time, it delivers on the results that it says it's going to do. It's efficacious and you actually get from it what you were hoping out of it. And so I think products that work, amazing packaging, understanding social media and marketing. And then for us, we've always worked with influencers since the beginning of when Summer Fridays launched. We believe in the power of what we've been able to do for other brands, and we believe in the power of that for our own brand. And so since the beginning of Summer Fridays, we've worked with creators and gifting creators on all sizes, big and small. And so actually last year, when we look on our EMV, our earned media value for the year, which is when creators post, there's usually an amount that's tied to the value of that post. It's not a dollar amount that the creator receives. It's just on the back end of like you can see on the brand side different people's posts. And so for our earned EMV for 2023, over 50% of that came from micro influencers. So that means there's so many people who are micro influencers who are supporting the brand. So it's not just the mega influencers and the bigger people that we work with. We work with people across all follower sizes. And I think that's been really great for us because we see the power that someone can have 500, 1,000, 10,000 followers and be even more powerful than somebody with a million followers.
So as of just like this last 7 days, searches for Summer Fridays on LTK are up 810%. So huge growth just this week. And I was flipping Instagram yesterday and there's Kim Kardashian posting about your new product. So 2 questions. What is this product? And also, how does that happen?
Yeah, so our newest product is the first product we've added to our jet lag franchise. So jet lag mask launched in 2018. And for something to have the jet lag name, which has become iconic to the brand, it really had to deliver on the results of the things that are important to us. It has to be calming, hydrating, instant results, and it really does all of these things. So if you have tired, dry, exhausted under eyes, the minute you put this product on, you can instantly feel how hydrated it feels on your under eye. And with all of our skincare products, we clinically test everything. And the clinical results that we got back from this product like blew our mind. So in 2 weeks, you see a results for fine lines and wrinkles on the under eye with a really gentle blend of retinol that we have in here. So you get this gentle effectiveness that we have across our skincare products with this instant hydrating. And that was so nice of Kim to post. She's been a supporter of the brand since launch and posted jet lag mask back when it launched in 2018 and has been so supportive of so many of our launches over the years.
Well, that was an exciting one to see. Not that you needed anyone else to tell you that the brand is lovable. I want to move beyond beauty for a minute and let's dive into your new role as the creative director of LIKEtoKNOW.it. It's available on LTK through Forward, Revolve. You post about it. I want to hear about that project. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on there?
Yeah. So since the beginning of being a creator, fashion and beauty have always been at the core of what I do. And when we started Summer Fridays, Lauren and I started this company on our own, and building a company from scratch is a lot of work to hire a team and build out everything. And that really is where my full focus and all of my time is spent on Summer Fridays. But this other side of me is I'm still a creator. I still love to post. I still love to get dressed and do all these things every day that I love to share with my community. And getting dressed each day is part of that. And my style has kind of stayed the same over the years. It's very just true to who I am. And maybe it came with a little bit of age because I'm 37 now. So even when I started as an influencer, I was in my mid to late 20s already. So I kind of was already in a place of dressing for my career and like where I was going in my day. And I've worked with Revolve ever since the very early days of me being a creator. They really were amongst the first brands and retailers to understand the power of influencer marketing. And so this opportunity came to join on as creative director of an existing brand that they already had and really give my own spin on what they were already doing. And I looked back when the brand launched in 2015, and I have posts of me wearing LIKEtoKNOW shirts and clothes when I was in Paris for Fashion Week almost a decade ago. And so it was really true to who I was. And because they already have an existing brand and they're a retailer, they had everything plugged in place. So I could really come in and say, like, these are the pieces that I want and work with their amazing design team for my vision of what the brand could be, but not have to do all the back and forth of, owning your own company. So it's the best resources of working with them, but bringing my vision to their existing brand. And it's been so fun to do. And I love seeing people wear it because the difference with Summer Fridays is if somebody comes up to me and tells me like they're wearing Summer Fridays or they have it in their bag, I see it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so great. Like, thank you so much for coming up to me and telling me, but I don't know unless you tell me. But with fashion, it's so amazing to be able to be out and see people wearing it. And so it's a really different experience. It's been really fun to be able to do with them.
How would you describe the style of the brand?
It's very me. Like when it launched, I was seeing people purchase the clothes who didn't know that I was behind kind of the refresh of LIKEtoKNOW.it. And then they saw that I was, and they were like, this makes so much sense. It's so elevated, chic, comfortable. There's a bit of me that I kind of describe my style as California meets Paris. And I spent a lot of time in Paris. I was raised in Germany and went back and forth between the States and Europe growing up. And I have this feeling for me, the way that I like to get dressed every day is comfort is the most important thing to me. I want to be comfortable in everything that I do. And so for me, comfort could be flats one day, it could be heels another day, but there has to be some sort of ease and effortlessness to what I wear. Now that I'm in my late 30s and I have a business and there's a lot of meetings and things I'm going to, I do dress in a way that it's the best for me to go to work mostly or meetings or lunch meetings. Especially with outside people that I'm meeting with a lot of times. And so I dress in a way that's like I'm going to the office. And a lot of times when I was looking at trendy clothes and I was shopping online, I just felt like these things didn't either fit my age or it didn't fit the things that I was actually doing in my day. And so these pieces really can take you from day to night if you're going to the office, if you're going to a dinner afterwards, if you're going on a trip. So I imagine the girl is working during the day and then she's going out to drinks with her friends at night, and maybe she's going on a vacation this summer where she wants to pack these things with, but she really wants staple pieces in her wardrobe that she can invest and wear for years to come. And that's what I'm hoping to bring here.
What would you say is like one key piece that you find yourself going to from the collection? Like I have my certain pieces I wear honestly every single day. I just don't show anyone. What is that for you?
I love anything easy to put on. So we have a couple pieces that are coming out in April, and I have this pant that is coming. And for me, if I have like a really easy, effortless, like silky kind of pant on, I feel like I'm in pajamas and I feel really comfortable, but I look really dressed up. And I tailor all my pants so I can wear them with flats or heels. And so I usually wear them during the day with like a ballet flat or a sandal, a silky pant, and a white tee. And that's essentially my wardrobe every day.
Well, it's working. We can all take a page from that. Hey guys, I want to take a quick break to tell you about something that is a huge trend in Texas, and it's just in time for Father's Day. I want you to know all about it. So you might be familiar with something called a guayabera. This is an open neck Cuban or Mexican shirt. Usually has two breast pockets and two pockets over the hips, maybe with some kind of little cute seams down the front, or you might have seen someone like embroider their initials on it. They're typically short sleeve. You wear them untucked. This is something that I've noticed in West Texas, men wear for special occasions. Maybe it's a dinner at somebody's house or like the barn dance down the street. Whenever you want to be dressed up in the summertime in West Texas, you're wearing guayabera. So I have bought these for Baxter, and I've also bought these for our boys. The ones I've got for Baxter are from a brand called San Cristobal. I believe these are made in South Texas. So I actually, if you're watching the video right now, you can see I've bought him several colors. He actually has more at the dry cleaner right now than even this. Truly, he wears these every single week. And this is just something fun for your dad. No, regardless of where you live, it's a great summer item that's kind of what I call that snappy casual. You're dressed but comfortable, and it's something a little bit special. The brand that I love is San Cristobal for our kids. So I actually also got these for our boys as well, as I mentioned. So Cecil and Lou is a brand on LTK. These are all over my LTK shop at Amber Vin's box. They're really, really well priced for little boys. She makes them in sort of like a seersucker. They're washable. I have those monogrammed as well. And the boys look so cute dressing like their dad going out to events and dinners. So if you're looking for something for Father's Day, pull the trigger today, because getting monograms we know takes a little bit of time, but I can definitely endorse this brand. And I'm sure that you can find guayaberas in other places online as well. But one of my absolute favorites for Father's Day. Okay, question. I actually did not know that you grew up in Europe. And so as I think about all the fashion houses that you've worked with and all the access that you've had from like living in LA and then traveling, how much do you think geographical location affects the success of a creator or the types of opportunities that are available to them?
A decade ago, it was really important, I think, to live in different cities because you had to be able to network with people and go to events. Today, that is not the case at all. There are so many incredible creators that we work with or gift that live all over the place. And I think because of platforms like TikTok now, it gives so many people opportunities to grow without needing to feel like they needed to be in a major city. They still get so many opportunities like being able to go on brand trips and get gifting or invited to events or flown in for events. And so today it is much more different. And I'm so proud that the influencer industry has moved that way because it gives so many more people opportunity, regardless of where they live. And on the Summer Fridays end, we work with LTK and we work with some sponsored content via the platform as well. And it's been so great to see people who live all over and how they really are resonating with their audiences and they work really well and they convert amazing. And it doesn't matter what city you're in anymore. And I love that.
So I just got home from San Francisco. I was at a Goldman Sachs conference. And the reason I bring this up is because the whole conversation's around AI. And one of the best things I think about AI, people always talk about it in the sense of like, oh, it's going to take a creator's job or artist jobs. But actually what we've seen on our platform is we have this product called LTK Match AI. And what we found is that when brands use that, they plug in their goals for a campaign. And then we actually use AI to predict who they should work with and at what price point and at what platform. And we actually found that 56% of the creators that the AI is recommending to them, the brand has never worked with before. And personally, I love that as a creator. I live very remotely now. I used to live in a city. And I just think about the way that you can remove the subjectivity from creator campaigns. And that really does give an opportunity to even more creators in more places. And so passion point of mine, I had to just kind of share that with the larger group. But I guess jumping back to trends really quickly, I think that you've done such an amazing job of creating a brand of yourself. And I think about like the Sofia Richies of the world, or most recently, like the Barbie movie, and people who, their stylists have worked with them to create a brand out of their look. And I know that, for example, in the beauty space, you've done like the clean girl look and the latte aesthetic. There's always some new aesthetic that's popping up, especially with younger generations. So how do you decide which trends align with your own content under the Marianna Hewitt brand?
I don't really follow trends when it comes to my own content. And I think there's like plus and minus to that. I think if you're a newer creator, being able to hop on these trends, especially early, is really great because people are searching for those and those are being pushed out in the algorithm. And so you can hop on something, but really try to make it your own. So if you're choosing to do whatever the food trend makeup is today, do that, but do your own twist. Use a different product, film it in a different way, show your own uniqueness to it. Because if you're just regurgitating the same content and as everybody else, it kind of will end up looking the same. And then I also like thinking about people doing series as well. So when I'm looking at other people, like maybe it is that you try these viral makeup looks, but you make a series out of it. Like trying the viral makeup look, like with drugstore makeup or with everything from Sephora or whatever it is that you can do to make it unique and different. I still am a content creator. That's something that I do, but really Summer Fridays is my full-time job today and my full focus. So I don't have as much time to create content today as I used to, because then I also have the platform and I have LIKEtoKNOW.it. And so there's only so many things that I can, I have the podcast and then I have LIKEtoKNOW.it. So there's only so many things I can do with my time. So I actually don't do as many trends, but I just really post true to myself. And I think in the long term, if you're thinking like me too, and you don't have the capacity to do trends, stick with what works for you and post the content that you like and that you want to create. Because if you're doing trends, not because you like them, but because you think you should, it's not going to resonate with your audience. So I know it's easy to want to do what you keep seeing, but I think in the long term, you'll end up getting burnt out and not enjoying creating it because it's not genuinely what you want to do.
Okay, and speaking of posting, there's definitely a fine line that people are trying to understand how to walk between like sharing personal content, which the idea there is you're sharing more, it becomes more interesting, people are following a storyline, it allows you to gain more trust with your audience. But then there's this line of maintaining your privacy and honestly carving out some personal time for yourself and having boundaries. You seem to be wonderful at this. How do you navigate that line or decide what is going to stay personal and what's going to land on the internet?
I think it goes back to what I just said a minute ago, too. It really is like creating the content that you're comfortable with and that you want to post is the most important. So just because somebody else is sharing a lot or sharing these stories or vulnerability, that's really amazing. I love to see that from other people because I know some people truly just get so much joy out of sharing that with others because that's how they connect with their audience. For me, that hasn't been the case, and that's not something that I think about in my own content. So for me, when I'm creating something, it's like, oh, I'm sharing something wellness, I'm sharing fashion, I'm sharing beauty, and then I'm hoping that you get inspiration that either makes you feel more confident or you learn something or there's some sort of value out of what I'm sharing here. And I found with a lot of my friends when they push the boundaries too much and they start sharing what they're not comfortable with, that's when they start pulling back and then they're not as happy with their content creation career as much anymore. And so it's a balance, but never feel like you have to do something just because somebody else is. Just stay true to the content that you are comfortable posting.
I guess flipping to the business side, because I know that is really the core focus for you. I've learned in my own career that I actually learn the most either from kind of experiences or pieces of books or podcasts or even candidly watching television, watching people who are doing what I'm then asked to do, which is maybe go on broadcast or speak in front of large groups. So I'm curious for you, what are some resources that it could be a person, a book, a podcast, whatever that you're learning from lately?
I am a big podcast and book person. So, in my morning and evening routine, I read every single day. I try to listen to podcasts almost daily. And if not, I'm listening to an audiobook. And I learn a lot just by following people that I like as well. So, as far as it comes to social, by following people whose career inspires me, it shows me what's possible. And I am really excited and motivated by them and their careers. So, a few people for me that stand out would be Emma Greed. She's a co-founder of Good American, Safely, which I love. I use it around my house. It smells so good. She's a founding partner of Skims. And then Jen Atkin, the founder of Way and Maine, which is a new hair tool line that just launched. I love their new brush. And Jamie Kern Lima, who is the founder of It Cosmetics. And then she also has two different books that I love. I'm looking at the books behind me, but her first book I really liked. It's called Believe It. And the second book is called Worthy. I really like those two books from her. Jen Atkin has a book as well. And there's so many amazing people. And the reason why I love following these women whose career I admire is because I think to myself, if they did it, why not me? And I see possibility in their career. And so hopefully I can do the same for somebody else who either follows me or listens to the podcast. I'm trying to think of what else I like to read. Those are the three that stand out right now.
I love that. Thank you for being so generous with that information. We'll be sure to put it in the podcast notes so everyone can reference those. Those are all fairly new to me, honestly. I need to go and follow these women because, like you, I do find such inspiration from seeing what's possible. I also find a lot of inspiration on what to wear, both from your account and from other people. On the fashion side of things and kind of like lifestyle and what you guys are doing, like just as a brand. What are some places that you're finding inspiration for that?
I find a lot of inspiration on Instagram just by following people that I love. And I also love kind of these like repost account, like Bon Chic is account that I love. They repost so many pictures a day. I'm just looking right now. They have 16,000 posts up. They must post like 8 times a day on their feed. And they have the best source of inspiration. And then there's so many new girls that I find on there where I love their accounts and I love their style. So I love that account. And then I spend a lot of time on Pinterest. I'm always on Pinterest, searching things, researching something, finding colors or palettes or looking up old images. And if I'm trying to get myself to stay off of Instagram and TikTok and I just want visual inspiration, I'll spend my time on Pinterest. And I love their algorithm where you can click on a picture and it shows you more related pins. So I spend a lot of time pinning on there.
Such good tips. The LTK team has been so busy lately. And so I wanted to share one of the new products that they've just launched that I absolutely adore. This is called the Product tab. It's on a creator's LTK shop. We know that shoppers on LTK love to search through their favorite creators' database of content, all the content they have ever created. And now they can see every product that they have ever linked to on this product tab on the creators page. So they can click into that product, see every post, every video, every photo that has featured that product. And that experience is all LTK AI enhanced to be personalized for the shopper. Creators, don't worry, you don't have to do anything. This is automatically there for you to give your community a more efficient shopping experience. I personally love to use this feature to browse and discover products from my favorite creators. So lately I've been needing a new pair of sunglasses. I went to my favorite creators. I just searched their products tab, and then I can see all the sunglasses that they featured, see how they look, how they wear them. I was also recently looking for loafers. I can go to those creators that I know and trust and just search for those products, find them immediately, see how they're wearing them, see the product reviews. The LTK products tab is live across every LTK creator's profile now. Go check it out.
Okay, let's move to quick rapid fire questions. So I want you to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. First, what is your bag of the season? And what I mean by this is like, what is the one that you are going to carry most?
My Row Margot bag in the size 15.
Ooh, very pretty.
I love it. I've been using it for work and travel, and I really, really kept thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And then I finally got it, and I've been using it every day. I carried it to the office today. I'm packing it for a trip, and it really is so versatile, and I'm obsessed with it.
It sounds like you're committed to the size too.
15 is good. 17, I'm short, so it was like too overpowering for me. So 15 was the perfect size.
Okay, next one, Summer Fridays question. So I am 36 years old. I live in the desert, and I'm inside most of the day at a computer screen. What Summer Fridays product do I need to have if I could just have one?
Oh, Dream Oasis Deep Hydrating Serum. It's the best. I cannot live without it.
Okay, adds to cart. Who is your favorite podcast guest, or the one who like had you on a high after you finished the episode? Like you just kept thinking about what they said.
Oh, so Roxy Nafusi is a manifesting expert. She's written 2 different books on manifesting that I love, and I loved her episode, and I'm really big on manifesting, so hers were really good.
Okay, this one might be more challenging. In your personal life, what do you want to start, stop, and continue?
So for my start, I want to start drinking more water every day. So I finally invested in a Stanley cup, and I get the hype now because it really does help me drink more. I was like, I got to order one of these cups because people love this for a reason and I need to know why. And I ordered it, and then it has really made me drink so much more water, and now I totally get it. I want to stop as much screen time because I tell myself like, oh, it's just for work, market research I'm looking at some point I have to get off my phone. So limit my screen time. So not stop altogether, just, have boundaries around that. And then what was the third one?
Continue.
I want to continue my morning and evening routines. So it's really a sacred time for me in my morning to just have for myself before I jump into my work for the day. And so it's really important for me to always make that time.
I love that. And on the Stanley Cup, I was a Yeti girl, and I was gifted a Stanley Cup at an event, and I totally get it. Something about the straw makes me drink so much more water. So even though they're huge, I do love mine.
I love mine. There's something about it. And then because it's just there, I end up drinking it so much more, and then my water's cold all day. So I get it, and it fits in my cup holder. I'm sold.
Yep. Okay, now professional life, start, stop, continue.
Ooh, professional life. Start getting my email inbox to a reasonable place at the end of each day, which is really hard, but I am trying my best because I don't want things to linger in my inbox too long, which isn't a very exciting answer, but it's just the truth. And then stop procrastinating because I get really excited about a project and I'll just start going all in on one thing. And then I will forget about the other things because I'm so excited about the thing that's right in front of me at the moment. And I want to continue bringing great quality products across Summer Fridays, LIKEtoKNOW.it podcast, and the content that I create, and like just continue putting stuff out there that people hopefully feel motivated or inspired or confident with.
On your start around the email, one way I found doing this was, I remember years ago, I was in a car with a woman in Paris Fashion Week, and she was just firing off, like immediately replying to emails as they came in. And I remember thinking sometimes I'm almost a perfectionist about the email. Like it's like I hold it sacred. I'm like, I'm going to reply when I have time to like really tell them how I feel, or like think about my language, or make sure I've included all the right things. And I've actually found that if I just reply in the minute, it saves me so much time. And then I don't have this like guilt of procrastination. So hot tip on that one.
I watched Anna Wintour on Masterclass, and she was saying she immediately responds to everybody because she knows people are waiting for her feedback. So by giving somebody an instant response, it lets them move on with their job. So I think that kind of goes back to like instant email. It doesn't need to be long. Just get people a response back. And that was something that always stuck with me.
Yep. I love that. And even Slack days now, like on Slack, I've noticed that some of my best peers and colleagues will reply and say, I've seen this message and I have time blocked on Wednesday by 5 to get back with you. And then you at least kind of know the context of when you can move on. Okay, last one. Is there anything that you're super excited about right now? And that can be in business, personal life, whatever comes to mind.
Ooh, super excited about right now. So we just had these out of home. We love out of home is something that we invest in with Summer Fridays, and that just means like out of home advertising. So if you see a billboard or something interesting like that, and Summer Fridays really is rooted in this idea of like endless summer and travel and jet lag and this jet lag tired feeling. And so we have all the airport bins at LAX, and then some airport advertising around JFK and LAX and a few other airports. And so I'm never like looking forward to going to the airport. I like getting to the destination I'm going to, but I'm really excited to go to the airport to see these, and I'm just so proud of them. So I can't wait to see those, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, I'll be looking out for you, as we all will. Marianna, you're the very best. I just get so excited to speak with you and hear all of your wisdom. Thank you for being so generous with that wisdom with us. And I'll be sure to put in the notes where everyone can come follow you along in your journey. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I love how Marianna talks about her quiet luxury aesthetic and designing and buying with classic, timeless style in mind. Quiet luxury is such a consumer trend, and it's actually been a trend again for a year now. So I want to go deeper on this. As part of this episode, I had the opportunity to sit down with a stylist that orchestrated the resurgence of the quiet luxury movement that has become one of the top most wanted styles. Liat Baruch, she was the one who famously styled Sofia Richie Grainge for her wedding last year. So be sure to listen for the full scoop on that iconic moment that started it all. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to work in the fashion industry. I'd call myself a magazine kid. You know, my mom would go and buy magazines at the grocery store, and I would always sit and pore over them. I specifically remember People magazine, but Us Weekly, because they had the most celebrity street style. And I would study it. I would cut it out. I would try and figure out all the little details of how the celebrities were styling. And at the time, Rachel Zoe was becoming famous. This was the era of Lindsay Lohan, kind of round one. This was Nicole Richie. And even before social media, celebrity stylists were so influential. I remember in college, my friends and I look back at our pictures and we were wearing denim shorts and white t-shirts with our Balenciaga Moto bags, just like Nicole. And, you know, in the summer of '07, I actually presented a professional roadmap to my parents. I was going to be the next Rachel Zoe. And step one that I needed to drive from Dallas to LA so that I could live and work there. I'm sure I am more than, one of the more than 1 million people that have had that same dream. But Liat, you're living that dream. Tell us how it all started.
That's funny because Nicole's my best friend and for like that long. So I was there for that. And yeah, it was a moment. It was like, it's not the same now, but they were still celebrities were something that, were like this enigma that you see in magazines. And I got a front row seat to it, and it was pretty incredible to be watching it from there. And yeah, their style was, it like defined how people dressed for that era. Fred Siegel, where we'd all go eat, which was funny because I grew up in a Jewish community in LA that was very small and insular. My parents no one's in this world. This is not something that I grew up in, but I was always drawn to fashion and also to just like aesthetics in general and just to like refined sort of taste, I guess, in art and homeware but particularly in clothing.
About a year ago, like we noticed that searches for Sofia Richie actually skyrocketed on LTK. So they were up at 931% following her wedding. Wow. You were the stylist whose work people were searching for. What were you going for with that huge event for her? And like, what did it need to communicate?
I've been working with her and I've known her whole life and I love her. She's like a sister to me. We together, everything was done. We did this. It was a collaborative thing. We did it from the time she was engaged, we started thinking about things and we just wanted she is young and in love and happy and beautiful. And also it was in the most beautiful place with the most beautiful man. So that we needed the clothes to, complement all those things. And it really was magic because it really was truth. I mean, she wanted to be young and I mean, obviously she is young, but we both didn't want it to be overtly sexy or overtly anything, actually. Just like subtle nods to, you're the bride. It's your week. You're beautiful. You're in love. Like, you're in the south of France, and so it was all very subtle nods. And I'm obviously so happy with it. We had the most incredible time and she looked perfect. So, but it wasn't, we worked on it. I mean, we collaborating, pulling different things. Sometimes she liked what I did. Sometimes I liked what she suggested. So it was a real team. We're a good team.
When I talk about kind of the searches spiking in the app, it's really unique from other celebrities because like a cynic might say, well, of course, like a famous person is getting married. Of course, everyone wants to be like them. But we actually don't see that. Like we've had people, children of even more famous parents, for example, and there's a pretty quick kind of like die off of the interest in that, or maybe their interest is in the fanfare, but not necessarily the personal style. What do you think it was that like grabbed people's attention where they truly wanted to, emulate these looks and kind of carry out the lifestyle that she was portraying?
I think they were accessible. They were they were, what's the word? Aspirational, but also sort of accessible, where it wasn't so out there that a girl can be like, that will never be me, And Sofia is just, she has humility. She has that humility. So I think that's what people sort of picked up on. And I don't know. I just think me personally, I would want to look like that too. You know what I mean? So I think maybe that's why. And it just was, every day we hit it out of the park every day. So
it was beautiful. What was interesting, I mentioned earlier, is like there's the spike moment, but then there's something that you guys created there. Really, I'm crediting you with this trend of quiet luxury that we're seeing still really going strong. So, months after the wedding, we saw a spike actually last June, 323% jump in people searching the words quiet luxury. And we had a summer style survey last year where quiet luxury was a top 3 style aesthetic that all generations liked and wanted to adopt. Now, even a year later, it's actually up again 23% in the last 30 days. So when you think about that aesthetic, like what's the recipe for like a quiet luxury look?
Sort of it's funny because Succession also, the people were talking about it because Succession was so big, and it's sort of like, it just sort like the perfect white t-shirt and the perfect crew neck sweater and like a good pair of jeans, and where you can't really pinpoint where it's from, but a 20-year-old can wear it and a 30-year-old can wear it and my mom can wear it too. So it's something that is less trend driven, more quiet, as not to be like redundant, but no labels, or you can't pinpoint what season it's from. And not to say that like the high-end designers do it really well, sort of like Loro Piana and like Brunello, Brioni, and like stuff like that. But you can also you can get it done in a less, like, you don't have to spend $2,000 on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? You can do it. We can do it also. But I think a recipe for that is to mix and match, like be sort of, what's the word I wanted to use? Be intentional on what pieces you're going to invest in. And so you have like a nice watch or a good bag, and then you can put like a J. Crew sweater with it and still look really polished and sort of quiet luxury. I don't think it's funny because I've been connected to it, and it's been around for me. It's been around for, ever, but it's like you're either wearing huge labels with huge sneakers that look like moon boots, or like you're just one logo, or you're just quiet, sort of, with a black sweater and some vintage Levi's.
I love your LTK. You wore this beautiful cashmere, I think it was a cashmere sweater. It was like a very simple, clean look. And when I clicked through, it was to Doen, which I also love Doen. And they sell it so quickly. So you have to buy it like the second that you see it. But I totally agree. You've been able to kind of put those pieces together and then invest in the special quality, the watch, the bag, which is, I candidly too where I like to spend my money. I think it's a good investment.
Right. Or the good, there's, there is, like a good blazer, or, and they're not cheap, but if you have one piece, that's how I approach it. If for my personal styling and personal shopping, if you have the one good novelty piece, we can really work around the rest.
Do you have any muses yourself, or like anywhere that you're going for inspiration as you're creating these looks for your clients?
Yeah, I have a few of my best friends who I look up to, and I like their style. A lot of times I go to 90s, like sort of Prada and Calvin and Ralph runway looks. I do Phoebe Philo's Chloe's collections were amazing for me in terms of the femininity if I'm trying to go there. But that's pretty much where I go.
What advice would you give to aspiring stylists who are looking up to you at this point?
Like do. Just work with just work, try and get yourself in with a good stylist, assist. Go to cultivate your own personal sort of taste level. Like go travel to cool places, go to galleries, like, take in like pretty decor at a restaurant, or, it's just consuming like sort of a level of aesthetic. And then you'll start to make your own. And then once you make your own, then you'll have something to say. And then once you have something to say, people will listen, I think.
Okay, I have a fire session for you. Some quick questions.
Okay.
Brown or black?
Actually, black.
Okay, leather or suede?
Suede.
Diamonds or pearls?
Diamonds.
Hair long or short?
Long. That's such a tough one. Long. I don't know. Long.
What is your most recent fashion purchase?
This is the problem with what I do. It's like it's always in your face. It's like how I would imagine. And then my best friend is an interior decorator. I'm like, how do you live? Because every time you shop for a client, do you pick up like a million things for you? Because that's what I do. I just bought an Elia cropped black cardigan and a pair of Chanel like ankle strap little pink heels.
Oh, there's on your Instagram?
No, but they will be when I wear them. I need to wear them first. And I bought an Attersea vest, like an Attersea dress, which is really cute. I love that brand, actually.
Okay, so what are some good go-to brands from your perspective? I know I've seen you in Doen. You mentioned Attersea, Chanel.
I wear, high sport pants are good. My go-to brands. I wear vintage Levi's all the time. Kate, I wear a lot. Her t-shirts are amazing. So are Lalene's. They have the best t-shirts. They're called the Molly T.
Oh.
Kate's called Emmy Lou. And then what do I do? Yeah, a little bit like the Doen little pointel little tanks are cute and like feminine. And for shoes, I've been into the Laura Piana flats. Yeah, the Chanel flats are a good classic, and the Row. The Row's just kills me. It's so good.
Okay, last question. What is going to be the hottest fashion trend for this summer?
I like a silk set, like sets. I love for the summer, and I've done a bunch of and I've used it a lot, and people look great in it, like a silk top and pant, like sets, a skirt and a like a little tank or something, but sets more.
Well, Liat, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for everyone to check out your LTK, what you have going on your site. You have been the conductor of trends, and so we'll all be watching you to see what's next and make sure that we're keeping up.
Thank you, Amber.
Okay, Amber, it is time for your hot takes. We're doing a pop culture edition today. And let's dive right in with Bridgerton. So June 13th, part 2 of Bridgerton season 3 drops. Have you watched?
I have not watched this yet, but I've definitely seen it advertised.
Okay, it's all over the place. This season is focused on the characters Penelope and Colin. They basically are having their love moment, and there's this carriage scene that's supposed to be super steamy. I don't know, just putting it out there. It's all over the internet. I've been watching them do interviews, and it almost looks like they're in love in real life. I've looked into it. They're not actually together, but the audience can dream. But of course, we can't talk about Bridgerton without talking about style. So why don't we dive into some of the trends coming off of the show?
I love when shows like this take hold because we start to see it in the LTK app. So we've noticed actually a lot of these Bridgerton Regency revival trends showing up in search results. Shoppers are continuing to love bow accents and accessories with searches up 93% in the last week alone. Crazy on contemporary corsets. These are trending with searches up 74% in the last 60 days. Empire waist, remember those? Well, our shoppers do. Their searches for Empire waist fashion jumped 250% in the last 60 days. And LTK creator posts, including the Empire waist style, increased a whopping 104% in the last 3 months. A couple more. Spring florals remain very popular with searches up 122% in the last 90 days. Intricate embroidery, which I personally love. These intricate details are all over Bridgerton. They're also just really popular with shoppers right now. Shopper searches on LTK for embroidered details up 110% in the last 60 days alone. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'll share it with you guys. I got a phone case that looks embroidered. It's very cool. So as far as from the creator side, really leaning into these moments, these things matter because this is what shoppers are looking for. Pop culture, it definitely influences the way we dress, the things we're talking about with our friends. And as a creator, you can lean into this to just have higher visibility. So we know that customers are shopping for all of these trends. If you want to be discovered, make sure that you're creating content about them, the content that's relevant to you. Content, we find that video and photos show up more strong in search from people who are looking for these trends. If they see a collage, they typically don't click into that. They don't have trust with that person. They don't know who it is. If you're doing a video, make sure it has a strong cover on it so they can kind of see and understand who it is that they're jumping into. This is a moment of discovery to bring someone home to your community. So make sure that if you're playing that search game, that you're, introducing yourself, you're telling what the trend is, how they can best get it, being really helpful. So many of our creators are finding new audiences from people who love to search from creators directly in the LTK app. This is relevant because you can ride this wave, all the trends that are happening or all the holidays that are going on. We know people are searching. This is a great way to have a wonderful SEO within the LTK platform directly, specifically with shoppers that come to shop.
Absolutely. And we also have to talk about popular book made movie, It Ends With Us. The trailer just dropped with Blake Lively. Have you jumped into this Colleen Hoover craze?
Okay, I know Blake Lively, but I don't know Colleen Hoover.
Okay, so Colleen Hoover is a super popular author. She writes mostly romance novels, but she's gotten a ton of buzz in the media because of this new film that's coming out. It's an adaptation of her book, It Ends With Us. Blake Lively is going to be in it. I see it being a huge moment, so we'll have to keep an eye out there. But I have to ask you, what is your take? What's usually better, the book or the movie?
I hear the book is better, but I'll be honest, I really only read for education. It's sort of a sickness, so I can't say for sure. But I think popular opinion would be the book is always better.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that sentiment. And what are you currently reading?
Well, I pre-ordered Day Trading Attention by Gary Vaynerchuk. I follow Gary V. You guys might know him. If you don't, definitely give him a follow. I love his radical candor. He's like the mentor coach that everybody needs. He's radically positive, but Gary and I really agree on a lot about what's happening in the media space, in monetization and building a business online. I could definitely recommend that book.
It's such a great one. I highly recommend the audiobook version too. He like riffs on the side. So he'll be reading the book to you, but then he's like, all right, I'm going off script. And he tells you all kinds of cool facts. He calls people. He's a great personality. I love listening to him and learning from him.
Okay, so funny fact, actually. I talked to Gary the other day after he had been recording this book in the studio. And he was like, oh, I was so bored recording it. So now I'm laughing that he was just kind of riffing on the side because he had obviously written this. It's like a textbook. And of course, I think any creator of something, you don't want to like hear yourself on tape or you don't want to watch yourself on TV. I think it was like that for him. So it's funny to hear that he was actually like riffing. It makes me actually want to stop reading and just get the audiobook.
Highly recommend. You'll have to check it out. That's funny. All right, time for a little game. You know I love a little game with you. Everyone wants to know what you're loving. So this one is called This or That, and it's the beauty trends edition. Okay, so I'm going to give you two different trends. You're going to tell me which one you prefer. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Berry stained or nude lips?
Oh, I'm a millennial through and through. I got to do the nude lip.
Fair enough. What about colored or black mascara?
Oh, So I get that the colored is very cute. I think it's fun and whimsical and like very youthful. I'm not against trying it. I think people have told me that I need to be wearing a brown mascara. So that's probably like the only color that's actually in my toolkit. I think generally I'm going with a more natural look.
Yes, and one of these days you'll have to tell everyone about your eyelash tips for when you're presenting on stage, because I know you have quite a few of those. All right, what about no makeup or a full glam look?
Okay, so this one's complicated because my preference would be a no makeup look, but you have to have such phenomenal skin in order to do that. And I will tell you, like eating beef, drinking red wine, eating cheese, those are all things that I love. And it totally makes my face flare up. And so I have to go full glam. But if someday I can get my diet worked out and just have flawless skin, then maybe you'll see the no makeup Amber.
Love it. Okay, what about bobs or keeping your hair long?
Ah, these are good. You know, I chopped my hair off, I guess, beginning of last year sometime. Anyway, chopped it off very short to my chin. I absolutely love it there, but I also love it long. Right now I'm in the grow out phase, and the grow out phase, it's like, it's so awful. I just keep wanting to chop it back off to my chin, but then it will like never get long again. I think longer hair, it's like long is easy, short is easy. In the middle, there's like some sort of expectation of a hairdo. I need to be like Rachel from Friends or something. I don't want to be. And so anyway, we'll see what happens. Right now I'm growing it out.
Love it. The in between is always that awkward phase. Okay, what about tinted or non-tinted SPF?
Ooh, tinted, and I think it's called Color Science. I found this on Olivia Culpo's LTK. It is like a white substance. It goes on your face and then it blends to your color. And it's what I use as my foundation. It's what I have on right now. I'm obsessed with it. I use it every single day, and it's SPF 50 and it actually works.
Perfect for the summertime, especially the Texas heat. Okay, this one is controversial. Thin 90s brows, stick with me here. I heard they may be making a comeback, or full laminated brows.
Oh, I mean, I love a full laminated brow. It's such like this like natural beauty look. Mine are naturally a little bit more 90s, and they're not twins. They're more like sisters or cousins sometimes. So I definitely wish that I had this like full brow, but I don't know. I'm aiming full brow. I'd probably be happy if 90s comes back. It's not as good of a look though.
Okay, what about dewy or matte makeup looks?
Oh, I like dewy. I just think like, I don't know, matte, you have to be matte for TV and all that kind of stuff. But like matte in person just it ages us.
All right, and then to finish us off, neutral or bright nails?
Okay, I'm neutral all the way. Did you know that the Queen actually has this sort of, it's either a personal rule or a rule in general? Ballet Slippers by Essie was the only color that she ever wore. And I'm pretty sure it's like part of like the etiquette book. I have large feet, and so I've always used that color to sort of like minimize the look. It's still the only color I ever use. And since Queen Elizabeth endorsed it, I mean, it feels like the right answer.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. Long live the Queen.
You can listen to More to Say on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes drop every Tuesday, and I'd love to hear from you. Share your comments and questions in the reviews section, or you can reach me at Amber Vinsbox on LTK, Instagram, or LinkedIn.